Good morning, it's Howie. I'm here to help you win with money. Today I have a different type of episode. Black Friday is over. Today is Cyber Monday, and I wanted to do a product review. So today, let's talk about Apple products. I want to talk about one particular product, Apple Watch. Let's take a quick look at this. I'm not going to go through a product review. Series 6 SE. And you're going to notice that there is some differences with these particular models. So I'm going to talk about what a parent should do if you want to buy a device for your kid. Is a watch a solution that can replace the phone? And the answer is it could be, and I'll tell you why. If you get the one with GPS and cellular, and you see one here, both the Series 6 and SE, let me explain what that does. There's some people don't understand what it does, but here are some people who answered it correctly. GPS requires you to be near your tethered iPhone, or some people have hacked it into use into an Android. But I'm just going to cover the basics here. So when you're close to your phone, your watch can communicate with it, and then you can receive texts and calls. But if you have the cell phone option or the cellular, it means that it will have its own phone number and that you can use the device as a separate device. And you'll see that here. And this is why the newer watches make sense to get the GPS with the cellular option. Now, let me explain why there's some confusion in the market. I went to 2 different AT&T stores, and prior to buying any device, I asked questions. And apparently, a lot of the salespeople still don't know whether you can own a watch that is untethered to mom or dad's cell phone. So, for instance, what I mean by that is, if mom or dad gets a text message, I don't want the kid getting the message. Now, when I asked this question at the cell phone store, they all say, no, that doesn't work. The kid needs to have their own phone, and then you can get the watch, and then the watch can be used as an extension of the phone. So let me try to answer this. That is not a correct statement. And this is what caused me problems over the weekend when I was trying to buy some new devices for my kids for Black Friday, and so I have some type of device to communicate with my kids. So let me show you real quick what the simple solution is. So if you go into YouTube, there's plenty of videos out here. And you see that there is something where people are talking about how do you set up a watch for kids? Because you can buy a watch, set up a kid, and the kid does not need to have their own phone. Most parents don't want their kids to have a phone. Why? They may lose it. If they're 6 years old, 8 years old, 10 years old, even 15-year-olds can lose a phone. A watch is most likely much better for a young person. They're just not going to lose it. So there's plenty of videos here, and I'm going to just walk you through why there's some confusion in the market. There was a software update on the watch, I believe it's iWatch 7 or whatever the operating system is for your watch. And then on iOS 14, they improved the way the family setup worked. And what family setup allow you to do is a parent can add on multiple accounts of iCloud users, which means your kid who doesn't have an email can now get an iCloud account. Then you can associate a watch to the iCloud account. And then under the family setup, mom or dad will become the owner of the plan or the family setup. And then you can add kids, or you can add your mom or dad, right? You can add, the whole concept behind this is it's a better version of the I've fallen and I can't get up. The family setup allows you to track elderly parents. So you can give them a iWatch, and you can have a GPS tracking on your elderly parent, and you can always know where they're at. If they have dementia, you don't have to worry too much. You can always track them down. If they're fallen, you can communicate with them through the watch. And so it's a device that's a little bit easier to use. Here's a great article on how to set it up. If you haven't set one up, you need to find an article to help you. The day I was doing it, unfortunately, Apple servers were down, so it took me many more hours than it needed to be because it's a pretty straightforward thing. Most people can set it up in half an hour or less. There's a lot of settings. Most important is in this screen, the family setup, there's a little option here that will let you set it up for yourself, or you can say add child to the family. And it's really nice. I'm not going to cover everything here, but it works for kids. This definitely works for kids. Your kids do not need to have their own iPhone. I have to say that again. And I have tested this. You can definitely make calls and receive calls. Again, I'm using the GPS with the cellular option. This is a really nice feature. If you have multiple kids with multiple watches, they can talk to each other. I have tested this already. The Apple Watch, I tested it with some generic no-name Bluetooth headphones, and it worked fine. I set this up, haven't used it yet, but I think it's going to work fine. I like the idea so that your kids don't need an Apple Wallet, quote-unquote, or an Apple Pay. This is very similar. It's a similar setup. And I do like the parent controls. You can set up a lot of different things. You can set up school time. You can set up downtime lock. So there's some really good settings for the watch. Here goes the school time schedule. I set it so that the kids don't. I did a limited window. I know school starts at 8, but I did my downtime sort of in the middle of the day so that they're not on their devices in the middle of the day. But I really like this. So I'm going to keep this short. You can read this yourself. The URL's here. You can just find this URL. The GPS is what most parents are buying it for, right? This is the device on the mom's or dad's cell phone, and then the kid will have sort of this on their watch. On their wrist, and it works. I tested it. The people here, I can see my kids on the way to school, and I know where they're at. Since I'm here, let's just scroll down a little bit. Here you go. This is what I was just saying. You got to be on the latest operating system. Here's how it works. You do the setup. This is the key. If you do setup for yourself, that will pair your device, the watch, to the actual owner of the phone. So you got to be super careful not to use this setting. You use this setting. And for kids, it's just obvious to set up for family member. It does this. This is like the QR code. I know it looks really different. You set a password. You choose a family member. And you see a lot of people are starting to do this. You have one parent, multiple kids. You can add other people on it. But it works really well. I tested it out. I love it. I recommend this as a good solution. And a solution to what? If your kids are young, they don't need a cell phone. Who wants to pay an extra $30, $40 a month for a phone? Most phones are $25 a month if you're doing a payment plan. But your cell phone charges, your monthly cell phone charges can add another $25 through $50 a month. So I like this as a solution. Most kids who are 8 years old don't necessarily need a phone, but you can toss a watch on them. Watch is waterproof. It works in swimming pools. As long as you have the correct sports band, you're fine. But I like this as a solution. You guys should look into it. Anyway, have a good one. Look out for other product reviews. If you like this, please like and subscribe. Let's get my channel larger. Support me. Thank you. Have a profitable day.